Hi friends, and welcome back to my second ever YouTube video. Woo! Eventually y'all get tired of saying that, promise. So the second build is also not anything like I usually build. It's a Tudor style home, which I never ever build, probably because I don't like Tudor style homes in real life. I actually have one friend who loves Tudor style homes, thinks they're so cute and charming. I can't relate, but whatever. But I was building this home with a family kind of home in mind. There's a mom and a dad and a teenage daughter and a child son. So pretty stereotypical kind of Sims. But like I said, it is a Tudor style home, and I struggled with this floor plan. I struggled. It kept growing. Like you can see right here, not that, this width of this house is what I wanted it to be. That was just to get an idea of what I wanted the front of the house to look like, but I mean, it just kept growing. I kept going in to do the floor plan inside, and I kept thinking, oh, I just need a little bit more room here, or a little bit more room here, or oh, now this window isn't centered, or there's not quite enough room for this couch. So I just kept growing. It ended up being just 3 bedrooms and an office that could have easily been a bedroom. And I ended up letting both of the upstairs, both the children's bedrooms upstairs, have a bathroom because, I don't know, I would have wanted my own bathroom if I could have had one. And it kind of worked nicely with the floor plan, so I made it happen. I struggled with this roof right here on these diagonal walls. I cut the whole thing out, but it was probably 20 minutes of me struggling to make it work. And I had some clipping with some of the roofs, and I'm still not sure what I had done wrong. I think a lot of Sims 4 build makes a lot of sense and is really user friendly, but I think some of it, like if you don't know how to do it, like, whew, it is lost on me. So if someone knows what I have done wrong upstairs or how I can make fitting a roof on the diagonal part where the dining room table is, that would be wonderful. For all 2.5 people who watch this, including myself and my husband, who I forced to watch this. Shout out to you. That was like a message from our sponsors or something. But anyway, I did struggle with this roof line. In case you didn't notice, the theme of this video and probably this channel is that I struggle. I struggle a lot. So here you can see I started putting down that kitchen, and I didn't like the way the island couldn't be centered, and I didn't want to work to center that sink, so I just, expanded the whole house because why not? And then I expanded more of the whole house because why not? Am I right? Or am I right? And there I am, struggling with the roof some more, but we got there. We got there in the end. The screenshots will prove that we we did in fact get there in the end. But anyway, oh, I love doing this. I don't see a lot of people doing this. When I watch other builders, I predominantly watch Lil Simsy. I love Kayla. I think she's super charming, super cute, and super relatable. Um, but I love making it seem like there are built-in shelves instead of just like separate bookshelves and a separate fireplace. I love to make it seem like they're one big giant piece. I would love to have a house that has like old architecture like that in it. I think it's super charming. And then the only issue is that you obviously have to use the same bookshelves to make that look kind of happen. And then if you look too closely, they're all the exact same bookshelves with the exact same books. But you can put a few objects on some of the spaces that are empty in there and make it look a little bit more like customized and not so stale, I guess. But yeah, this is an open floor plan, which I guess the last build was too. It was just significantly smaller. But I really ended up liking the way that this was. I feel like I really could kind of play in this house because it all is so open and not so boxy. Like I said, I tend to play in a lot smaller houses, but I kind of like the way this one was, so maybe I'll give it a go. Probably, oh, probably not with the Sims that I actually made for this house because literally I could have cried earlier. I was completely done. All I had to do was take screenshots. So I went into live mode, and it just so happened that like as soon as I went into live mode, the welcome wagon came. And oh my god, do I usually hate the welcome wagon? No, this was a million times worse. This was so bad. I've never had this happen. No one would leave. I had locked the doors, before anyone could get to the house, and it didn't matter. They went right in. Um, and you know how eventually it's like ask to leave. Nope, never happened. Couldn't get them to leave. I tried for probably 20 minutes. I sat here like almost actually pulling my hair out because I couldn't get these people to leave like Bella Goth and get off of my computer. Am I right or am I right, folks? So I quit the game. I had some errands to run out of town, so I like shut down the game, came home, and it allowed me to ask like a couple of the welcome wagon people to leave. It's like 10 p.m. in Sims World at this point, and still Bella Goth swimming in my pool. Mortimer is in his underwear. Like, what are you doing at my house right now? It was a tragedy. I ended up having to evict the family, move them completely out, and pretend to make a new sim and move him in, and like make sure that I paused the game before the welcome wagon. It was just like, wow, it sounds not very stressful when I say it like that, but I'm telling you, it was stressful. I was near tears at how like ridiculous the scenario was. But anyway, back to the build, the more important thing here. If you noticed, I cut out all of the landscaping because it takes so long. And honestly, it's so repetitive. I don't even think I'm very good at it. But if you ever wanted to follow what I do, I just pick a color scheme and like pick the same like 6 or 7 flowers and just like scale them up or scale them down and rotate them and like mix and match. There's no particular pattern. Make sure it looks kind of random, but all in the same color scheme, I guess. That's basically what I end up doing, and like kind of making it so that it goes like from space to space and like ending at a corner basically, so it looks rounded off. Um, I like really overgrown landscaping in real life and in The Sims, but in The Sims, the landscaping that I do would never live in real life. And here I am cluttering up those shelves, just kind of making them look a little bit more lived in. I love to live in houses that feel lived in if there's not clutter everywhere. I also made the wall height on this build medium, which is rare for me. Someday maybe I'll, do a build that I can say, yeah, this is a pretty standard build for me, but this one is pretty different in terms of like the architectural style on the outside and having like medium-sized walls. I never do that because the windows look silly. Everything kind of looks silly and small and like it's not really meant to be there. Um, but I thought it worked in this particular build, especially from the outside. I thought it looked really, really good. And mostly because I wanted to use those curtains from Cats and Dogs, and they were clipping, and I really wanted to use them, and that is why I used medium wall heights. Desperate times. Speaking of cats and dogs, if you can hear any feedback, any nonsense going on in the background, it's my cats and dogs. It's, a casual 1:21 a.m. and they are being crazy. Probably because, I'm awake and talking to a screen and not them. So, not super exciting for them. But here I am just going through some of the bathrooms real quick. I kind of make all of my bathrooms the same, very neutral color scheme with the very same kind of decorations through and through. This master bathroom was a little challenging because of the shape of it was so bizarre, but I really wanted it to seem luxurious. The house in and of itself seemed like something that would be in an old neighborhood. So I was thinking of like an old house in an old neighborhood, but it's super duper expensive because old houses in old neighborhoods are super super in. Um, so I wanted everything to seem really upscale, like these people probably had a lot of money. Um, Hence why both kids have a bathroom. Wouldn't that be insane? Did you guys grow up with your own personal bathroom? Like, comment down below if you definitely did. Or if you didn't. Like, I shared a bathroom with 2 of my siblings and, well, 2 of my siblings. I have 2 siblings. I shared a bathroom with the 2 of them. Would have done anything for my own bathroom. I spent a lot of time cluttering up stuff in this build and in every build. I love to clutter. And then I got to this office where I think I was kind of exhausted from cluttering up a whole house at this point. So it became very much so like a real life office that you might have in your house that is really just a catch-all. I mean, unless you have a really big fancy, office. But most people that I know who have an office space in their home, wow, I just did air quotes, because you can see those. But most people that I know who have an office space in their home, it's really more of a catch-all. They're like, storage stuff goes in it, some workout equipment, barely anything hung on the walls. So it seemed pretty realistic to me. Now I'm just doing the teenage daughter's room. Honestly, I made a very, typical teenage girl in The Sims, I guess. So her room is kind of really typical teenage girl in The Sims. I have huge issues with, obviously, the swatches for beds in The Sims 4. I'm sure everyone does. Everyone I know does, because we had the luxury of Sims 3 where we had a color wheel and could basically make anything that we wanted. And even in Sims 2 we were able to swap, the actual bedding from the frame, which was really nice. You don't have that in Sims 4, so you're a little bit more limited. There's so many things in The Sims 4 that I think are really wonderful, but that is a setback for me. But honestly, building in The Sims 3 probably took me twice as long as building in The Sims 4 because of all of the options. So, I guess it's both a blessing and a curse. Now I moved on to the child son's room. Went with a green color scheme. I love green, in case you couldn't tell. Wanted to seem really playful and fun and customizable, which is why I struggled with this bookshelf. Couldn't get anything to sit on it properly, but I got there in the end, adding lots of little details. The son in this family is in the creative skill set. His parents are musicians, so I figured, he'd probably go into that line of work if someone out there played with him. It is not going to be me. I can tell you it's not going to be me. Nope. Wish I could, but I'm already thinking about my next build, actually. Little Simsy, who I mentioned before, is doing a shell challenge where she, created some existing walls, built the shell of a house, including a few interior walls, I think. And basically, she asks her followers to take the shell, download it from the gallery, and build around her walls. And you can do anything you want, but you can't touch her walls. So I'm actually gonna do that because I think it's so fun. And based on the last shell challenge she did, there's no way that she would click on mine and look at mine, because holy moly, are people out there so talented. So talented. The things that people come up with in the Sims community is insane. I always thought I was a pretty decent builder, but some of the ideas that other people have are amazing. But the screenshots are coming up, those ones that I worked so hard for. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you're looking forward to the Simsy build, because I am super looking forward to the Simsy build. Anyway, go ahead and like and comment on this video. Let me know if you shared a bathroom growing up or if you had your own. I'd love to know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Hello, friends. Probably adding that to the end of the video as an awkward clip.